Good morning, guys. I hope you had a nice long weekend. Thank you for those of you who posted your quizzes already. I'll have those marked out back to you as soon as possible. Um, all right, guys, I know we're nearing the end. I know it's getting tough, but I promise you one or two more lessons. That's it. So I need you guys just to stay with me for a little longer. Today we're going to continue with solving for triangles that are not right because, some of them are wrong. Okay, I know, cheesy, but I only had one cup of coffee. But we previously learned the law of sines. Okay, now if there's a law of sines, there's got to be a law of cosines. All right, so I'm going to put this screen up, law of cosines. All right, I'm going to ask you, after I explain it, to just pause it and copy it down. Law of cosines, you're going to see it in most of your books like this one on the bottom. Okay, but we can maneuver it and it can look like this. You are going to use this formula here to find a side of a triangle. You're going to use this formula here to find an angle, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So make sure you pause the video and copy these down and keep this on the side as we're solving these. Notice how this side corresponds with this angle. Notice it's the only time, if you're looking for angle C, side C is only used in the formula once and everything else is the sides of A and B. If this was an A, this would be an A and this would be C. Okay, so you flip it out. Same thing here. If you're looking for side C, you're using angle C and everything else is the other two angles. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so let's go, remember, copy that down, pause the video, and keep it handy. So let's say I have a situation like this, triangle ABC, and they gave me all three sides. So I have the situation called side, 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 flashbacks to geometry. And I want you to solve the triangle, which is what we've been doing, which simply means that you're just going to give me all the missing pieces. Now, in this case, the missing pieces are all the angles. So angle A, angle B, and angle C. Now, it would be nice just to set up a law of sines, but you can't because there's no way you could set up a proportion. You're going to be missing two elements of the proportion. If I did sine of A over 10 is sine of B over 12, I still don't have those two angles. How could you solve when you're missing two things? All right, so we are going to solve this using law of sines. I need to find the angle, so I'm going to use the part of that formula that I showed you that was to find an angle. The first angle I'm going to find is C. I don't know why, that's what I did in my notes. So if I'm looking for angle C, I'm going to do side C minus side A minus side B squared over negative 2AB is equal to the cosine of angle C. So I'm just going to plug in those values. 11 squared minus 12 squared minus 10 squared over negative 2 times 12 times 10 is going to give me the cosine of C. All right, I'm going to use my calculator. I'm going to solve these. If you're going to plug this in your calculator all at once, remember the numerator gets parentheses, the denominator, excuse me, gets parentheses. This is going to come out to be 0.5125 is equal to the cosine of C. All right, now remember, when we're looking for angles, you're going to use that second button, the second function key. So second cosine, got to turn the calculator on, that works, all right, clear. Second cosine, and I'll plug in 0.5125, and I'll hit enter, and it tells me it's about, we're going to use whole number, 59-degree angle. So angle C is equal to 59 degrees. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once you have one angle, you don't need to use the law of cosines again. You can now revert to the law of sines to find the other angle. You can do this whole thing, but you're comfortable with law of sines. So let's do law of sines to find angle A. So I'm looking for angle A now. So I'll do the sine of angle A over 10 is equal to, I have angle C now, the sine of 59 over 11. We'll do cross products like you've been doing. This is all easy for you at this point. 10 sine of 59 is equal to 11 times the sine of A. Divide both sides by 11. And we're going to get a decimal of, where am I in my notes, 0.7809 is equal to sine A, again, we're going to use the inverse function, and angle A is equal to 51 degrees. So put that in there, 51 degrees. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have 2 out of 3 angles of a triangle, to find the third angle, I'm not going to use law of cosines or law of sines. I'm going to do 180 degrees minus the 51 minus the 59, and I'm going to find out that angle B is 70 degrees. So we're going to use the law of cosines once, we're going to use the law of sines, and then we're just going to use what we learned in 3rd grade to find the third side of a triangle. All right, maybe 5th grade. All right, that's a situation when you have side, side, side. There's going to be another situation, okay, where you're going to solve for the side. So I want to show you that one. Okay, so let's say you're given a triangle that is not right. Yeah, I'm trying to say it's wrong. All right, this side is 9 degrees, this angle is 40 degrees, and this is 10 degrees. Okay, again, we still cannot do law of sines. I have this angle, but I don't have this side. So I'd be missing this, and then I have these sides, but I don't have the angles. So I'd be missing 2 things from the proportion. So when you have the situation of side, angle, side, you're going to use law of cosines. So first we're going to find this side, little c. Okay, so we're going to find a side. So we're going to use the part of that formula that I asked you to copy that deals with the side. So if I'm looking for this side, c squared, okay, it's going to equal the other 2 sides, a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. See how these 2 line up? And then the other letters are the remaining sides. So again, I'm going to substitute in the values. I'm left with c squared is equal to 10 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 10 times 9 times the cosine of 40. All right, you could just substitute this whole thing in your calculator, and you're going to be left with c squared equals 43.112. You're going to square root both sides, and you're going to find out that side c, okay, and again, we're going to round to the nearest whole number, is 7. Okay, now let's go back. What are we missing from this? We're missing angle A, angle B, side C. I found this. All right, now we have to find one of the angles. Again, you only have to use the law of cosine once, because now that I know this, I could set up a relationship in the law of sines. Okay, so let's do sine B. Okay, I can say now the sine of angle B over 9 is equal to the sine of 40, the other angle I know, over, I know what little c is. Little c is 7. Okay, so now if you look at this proportion, and this is what I'm talking about, you're only missing one element. Prior to this, you would have been missing both these. You can't solve if you had 2 variables missing. I'll do cross products. So it's 7 times the sine of B equal to 9 times the sine of 40. Divide by 7, divide by 7. Sine of B is equal to, when I substitute all this in the calculator, I get 0.8805. And again, I'm not working through that because that's what you had your quiz on. So angle B, when I use the second function, the inverse of it, is 62 degrees. So I just found what B is. B is 62 degrees. And again, ladies and gentlemen, you can use law of sines, you can use law of cosines, but you have 2 out of 3 of the angles. To find the third angle, we're just going to do 180 minus angle B is 62, minus 40 for angle C, and you are going to get, what do I get here? Angle A to be 78 degrees. Okay, so I give you 2 different situations. One situation when you have side, 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 And the other situation, you have side angle side. You're going to use the law of cosines first, then you're going to use law of sines, and then you're just going to do the 180. So your homework is to solve the triangles. And I'm going to give you 2 examples. Number 1, if I have triangle A, B, C, and I tell you this side measures 25, this is 27, this is 28, I want you to solve it. So you're going to have to find for me angle A, angle B, and angle C. Okay, and this is just like the first one, so go back and watch that. And then, if I gave you A, B, C, and I told you this was 16, this was 127, and this is 7. Okay, this is your side angle side. You need to find angle A, angle C, and side B. And that's your homework for tonight. We are almost done, guys. All right, so just stay with me, do those 2 problems, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. And if you have any trouble, reach out to me. Don't forget, I'm here.